Hello. Happy Thanksgiving to you guys. Happy Thursday. Little bit of an unexpected video today, but I am making something for Thanksgiving dinner, so that is a reason for this video. And again, happy Thanksgiving. If you guys are doing things with your family, have fun. Boo Cowboys. I'm gonna catch flack for that one, I know. But yeah, so let me get right to it and show you guys what we've got going on today. Hope you guys are having a good day. I'll be meeting with the kids a little later on. So I'm just getting stuff ready before that. So, as the description says, we are doing a 3-cheese baked macaroni. Now I've done this dish a few times before. The first time I made it a smaller quantity, the quantity recommended, only because that's what it called for. But due to the fact that I'm making this for a Thanksgiving dinner, I'm increasing the quantity and I'm doubling the ingredients. So I'm making a bigger amount for this one, for this purpose. I made it last year, I think, for Christmas dinner for my parents and their Thanksgiving dinner, and that came out pretty good. I've made it before a few times, and it's come out good before. This I gotta say, this is a really good macaroni dish. If you have some kids that are kind of picky about macaroni and cheese, I mean, God, what kid doesn't like macaroni and cheese? Unless they're lactose intolerant. There is that catch. If they're lactose intolerant or they have a gluten allergy, but there is gluten-free pasta. Anyway, I am getting this one out of, I think this was my first cookbook. I don't recall. So I'm getting this out of an Emeril Lagasse cookbook. This cookbook has gone through hell and back since I've got it. And it was kind of in the same condition when I bought it at a book sale. But I've gotten a lot of good recipes out of this one. So, focus. Okay. Again, I am increasing the quantity, so I will be doubling just about everything in this thing. So let's get to it. 8 ounces of elbow macaroni. I'm working with just about a pound of macaroni. As you can see there, that's not 8 ounces. 3 slices, or 3 ounces of bacon. Comes out to about 3 strips. Sliced crosswise into half-inch pieces. It looks like I have 6 pieces of bacon. Why? Because bacon. It's bacon. Bacon and mac and cheese, good combination. Bacon. 1.5 teaspoons of minced garlic, 3 eggs. Yes, it says eggs. Trust me. It may seem like a little bit of a weird ingredient to be added to macaroni and cheese, but this makes it really good, and it makes the mac and cheese nice and thick too. There's my eggs right there. 1.5 cups of evaporated milk. Again, increasing the quantity, so I'm using more. Salt, plus more for the pasta water. 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. Now, if you guys have seen enough of my videos, you know how it is with the cayenne pepper. I don't measure the cayenne pepper, and 1/4 teaspoon is not a lot. And for this one, I'm using more. I don't know how much more. I'm just going to kind of eyeball it and guess and improvise. 1/8 of a teaspoon of nutmeg. Again, I'm not going to be exactly measuring that because, frankly, I don't have an eighth of a teaspoon. 6 ounces of sharp cheddar. Double. Comes out to about 1.5 cups of cheddar, plus about 1/2 cup of Monterey Jack, cheddar Jack, about 1/2 cup of Parmigiano Reggiano cheese. I'm just using Parmesan. Alright, so that is it as far as the ingredients go. Let's get right to it. Preheat oven to 425. Done. Bring a large pot of salted water to boil. Add the macaroni. Cook until tender, just about 6 minutes. Drain and set aside. Done. While the pasta is cooking, heat a small saute pan over medium heat. Add the bacon. Okay, so I've got my bacon right there. I've got my little pan here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw the bacon in here, and I'm going to let the bacon start cooking. Okay, and again, I'm increasing the quantity, so I'm using a bigger pan. Now, the recipe on this one says 8 or a 9-inch square baking dish, but I'm using a bigger one, and you will see why soon. Alright, so I'm going to let that go. Here we are, step 3. Add the bacon. Cook until the fat is rendered and the bacon is crisp, about 6 minutes. Add garlic and cook until fragrant, 30 seconds to a minute, and then drain the fat. So we're going to cook the bacon here for a few minutes until that's cooked, and then we're going to add in our garlic. And then once we are done, then we're going to throw everything into a big mixing bowl. Right, so crank that up just a bit. I mean, you cannot go wrong with adding mac and cheese and bacon. If you're looking for something that add a little bit more flavor to your mac and cheese, bacon. Bacon is just good with everything. And with this one, the mac and cheese with the bacon, depending on how crisp you have your bacon, if you like your bacon extra crisp, or even if it's not that crunchy, still. Yes. Okay, so the bacon's going to start falling apart here pretty soon. I know I threw it in there in chunks like this, but as it cooks, it's going to start separating and coming apart after I stir it a bit too, so and I have the heat cranked up to about medium-high heat on this one just to cook it faster. Alright, while that's going, I'm going to move along here. Okay, so after you get the bacon and the garlic cooked, you're going to transfer it to a bowl right there. Add the drained macaroni to the bacon mixture, and then stir to combine. So I've got my macaroni drained, ready to go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and throw the macaronis in there and get that ready. And then I need another bowl. Okay. Bacon. Yay, bacon. Try not to let the bacon stick to the bottom of the pan. Alright, so I got that. I'm going to skip ahead just a little bit while that's going on. Okay, so in a large bowl, whisk the eggs, the evaporated milk together. Okay, so here's my extra bowl. Let me get my garlic ready. Okay, so I've got my evaporated milk. Okay, Recipe calls for 1.5 cups of evaporated milk and then 3 eggs. Now again, being that I'm increasing the quantity, I'm doubling the ingredients on just about everything on this. So I'm using 3 cups of evaporated milk and 6 eggs. Yes, that's a lot of eggs, and that's going to make this mac and cheese very fluffy and very thick. So you'll see soon. Alright, so let me get my garlic ready to go. Excuse me. Okay, eggs. One, 2, now if you guys haven't used macaroni and cheese, if you haven't used eggs with your macaroni and cheese, I recommend it only for the fact that it makes the stuff, it makes your macaroni and cheese. Sorry. It makes your macaroni and cheese thicker, and it gives your macaroni and cheese a lot different texture to it. I mean, yeah, you know, most people like their mac and cheese really creamy and not as thick, but I mean, it's not a bad addition to this. Adding some eggs to your macaroni and cheese is definitely not a bad addition. And you'll see why soon. Okay, so I turn the heat off of this, and I'm going to drain the fat from the bacon and the garlic mixture here soon, and I'm going to add that to the blue bowl where the macaronis are. Alright, what am I at now? 4 eggs? Okay, 4 eggs. 2 more. Five. And 6. Oh, I didn't drop a shell in there, did I? Shit. Shitballs. Okay, I gotta skim this real quick and make sure I didn't drop a shell. Okay, well, hopefully not. Okay, we'll stir it anyway. Okay, so we're going to let that cool down, and I'm going to drain the fat from that here pretty soon, and I'm going to add the bacon garlic to my macaronis, and then while we got that going, I'm getting the mixture ready here with the cheese. So I'm stirring the evaporated milk and the eggs. Okay, so step 4, add the bacon mixture to the macaroni. There, in a large bowl, whisk the eggs and evaporated milk. Add, excuse me, half a teaspoon of salt, cayenne, nutmeg, and the grated cheese. Okay, here goes my cayenne. Now, it only says a 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne pepper, but I'm not adding a 1/4. I'm probably going to go, I don't know, maybe a full teaspoon. This is going to be some spicy cheese mac, but yummy. Okay, so that's probably about a 1/4 teaspoon right there, but I'm not stopping. Yummy. Okay, here's my nutmeg. And it says 1/8 of a teaspoon of nutmeg. So I'm going to go a little more. You know what? I'm just about out of nutmeg, so I'm going to go ahead and... Oh, I ain't... Okay. Maybe a little too much. We'll see. Nutmeg and the mac and cheese is not a bad addition either. Okay, so as you can see, I got my bacon crisp. I got my garlic in here, a little crispy as well. And I got a lot of fat from the bacon as well, so I gotta drain that fat from the bacon. In the meantime, let's come back to this. There's my mixture of the cheeses. Well, not quite the cheeses. Grated cheeses and mixed well. So 6 ounces, or at least 1.5 cups of cheddar. Cheddar. Gang, gang. Gang, gang. Sorry. Okay, cheddar. Oops. Okay, so that was 1 package of cheddar. I'm going to add in the second one here in a second package, cheddar. Now this is going to be some extra cheesy mac and cheese, but this is going to come out very good. Trust me. Trust me. Okay, so that was the sharp cheddar, and now I need my jack cheese and then my Parmesan. So I need about 1 cup of the cheddar jack, so I'm going to add half of this package. Half, give or take. Close enough. And then here's my Parmesan, and it says half a cup of Parmesan. So I'm going to add just a little bit. I'm going to add about almost a cup of Parmesan. All right, Parmesan. Bam. Okay, so as you can see here, I have my 3 cheeses. I have my Parmesan, I have my Monterey Jack, and then I have a whole shitload of cheddar, sharp cheddar cheese, mixed in with the eggs, evaporated milk, nutmeg, a little bit of salt, and then the cayenne pepper. And I added a lot of cayenne pepper in this one. I added about maybe a teaspoon of cayenne pepper. So this is going to be extra spicy. All right, so add the okay, in a large bowl, whisk the eggs, evaporated milk, add half a teaspoon of salt, cayenne, nutmeg, grated cheeses, and mix well. Add the macaroni bacon mixture and stir to blend. Okay, so I'm going to mix this with that and this, but I got to drain this. Because you see all that fat right there? Now, in some cases, the fat would be good, but not with this one, so I gotta drain that. All right. Okay, so I'm gonna add the bacon to this. Bacon and garlic, that's what the little black bits are. And then here is my cheese mixture. Let me stir this up just a bit more. I'm going to add this to this stir it up together, and then add it into my big baking pan. All right. Excuse me a second. I got to put you down. I got to put you down because I got stuff to do here. Good. All right, so let's take a look at this. Let's see the new case. Case. What case? What case, bro? Andrew, what case are you talking about? Oh, I'm not in there yet. I'm not in there yet. Stuff got delayed a little bit. So I'm not in there yet. I may not be there until late next week, maybe, or sometime in early December. Some stuff came up with the... No escrow. I guess the owner had a lien put on the house after some unfortunate situation happened in her family, and they had to put a lien on the house because of that. So things got delayed just a little bit. So they asked for an extension before I can even start with the closing. So right now we're kind of on hold, maybe for another week or so. Yes. So yeah, that's got to get taken care of before we can even proceed with the closing. And we're hoping this can get done in about a week. So, like I said, maybe early December, if not late next week. As soon as I find out, we'll see. But it shouldn't be much longer. Okay, so here is my mixture. Here is the mixture of the mac and cheese with the bacon. So as you can see, we've got the macaronis, we've got the bacon, and then we've got a shitload of cheese mixed in here too. And again, you see these little black and brown bits, that's just garlic. So that's all that is, and that's nothing to worry about. Yes, whenever we have the housewarming party, I will throw out invites for sure. But chances are the housewarming party won't be until after the holidays. Okay, so I've got this all mixed up. Now I'm going to put it here in the pan. All that cheese. All that cheese. Look at that. Look at that. Okay, so as you can see, we have spread that out just a little bit. Okay, so I have my mac and cheese all spread out, ready to go. Now, if you want to add a little bit of a twist to this thing, you could probably even put some panko breadcrumbs and give it a little bit more crunchiness. Yeah. Okay, now the recipe doesn't call for panko breadcrumbs, but I'm thinking about adding some only because I want to give this a little bit extra crunchiness to the top. So I'm going to add in, I know it's not labeled, but this is panko. Okay, so I'm going to sprinkle on some of the panko. You don't need a lot on this, maybe about a half a cup for a pan this size. And also too, if you wanted, you can melt some butter and spread out some of the melted butter on top of this. and give this a little extra color, more of a browning on top. But the breadcrumbs is just for a little bit of a crunchiness on top. Because I think adding breadcrumbs to baked macaroni and cheese makes it come out pretty damn good. But again, the recipe doesn't call for breadcrumbs. It doesn't call for melted butter. So there's no need for that. It's just my little thing. Now, you notice how I didn't grease the pan. I didn't put any non-stick spray or anything in there. It doesn't call for that. So there's no need to worry. If you feel a little more comfortable and you don't want the stuff to stick to the pan, you can spray some non-stick on there, but it doesn't call for it. The moisture from the macaronis, the moisture from the cheese mixture with the evaporated milk and the eggs, that should be enough to keep your pan slick enough to keep the macaronis from sticking. It may stick just a little bit, but it's not going to be bad. So it's going to come out looking good. It's going to come out good, and there will be no excess mess in the pan. Okay. Okay, so whisk the eggs, evaporated milk, half a teaspoon of salt, cayenne, nutmeg, grated cheeses, mix well. Done. Add the macaroni bacon mixture, stir well to the blend. Transfer the macaroni to an 8 or 9 inch square baking dish or a dish of similar size. Now, if you're using the recommended quantities that they're calling for here, then you will put it in an 8 by 8 dish baking pan. But just for the fact that this is a Thanksgiving side dish, I increased the quantity. So I'm using twice the amount of ingredients on this one. So I'm using a bigger pan, bigger quantities. Using a spoon, gently spread to form an even layer. Place in the oven and bake for 12 minutes. Remove and let rest for 10 minutes before serving. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in the oven. And give or take about 11:30, this bad boy should be done. $12. And there we go. All right, again, 3 cheese, baked macaroni and cheese. Now, the ingredients here are only recommended for, for a smaller group, if you will. If you're making it for, if I was making it for just me and my kids, I would probably do it in these quantities. But being that it's Thanksgiving, I increased it. So it's recommending 8 ounces of elbow mac, about 3 strips of bacon cut into 1/2 inch pieces, 1.5 teaspoons of garlic, 3 eggs, 1.5 cups of evaporated milk, 1/2 teaspoon of salt plus more for the pasta water, 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne, 1/8 of a teaspoon of nutmeg, 6 ounces of sharp cheddar, which comes out to about 1.5 cups, about 1/2 cup of Monterey Jack cheese, and then about 1/2 cup of Parmigiano Reggiano cheese, and I just went ahead and used Parmesan cheese, only for the fact that cheese that they're recommending is a little more pricey. I mean, you can find it if you look good enough, but the packages of the Parmesan cheese are probably going to run you maybe about $2, depending on where you get it from. You get the little wedge of the Parmigiano Reggiano cheese, however you pronounce it. You're looking at about maybe $3 to $4, depending. But I've noticed there is a difference when you get stuff like that. The fancier cheeses are a little more expensive, especially in the wedges. So, Parmesan works just fine. And that is all the ingredients. I will attach a picture. Of the recipe to the post when the macaronis is done. Less than 10 minutes. So, I'm going to let this cook. It's not time to head out yet. So I'm going to just go ahead and chill. Watch some football, play some Red Dead Redemption. But have a good Thanksgiving. I will see you, what's today, Thursday? I will more than likely see you sometime next week. Due to the fact that everything with the house got extended. I'll be back next week. I'll be back. So I will see you soon. Have a good day. Have a good Thanksgiving. Boo Cowboys. Have a good day. Bye.